This episode is brought to you by Kia's first 3-row, all-electric SUV, the Kia EV9, with available all-wheel drive and seating for up to 7 adults, with 0 to 60 speed that thrills you 1 minute and available lounge seats that unwind you the next. Visit kia.com/EV9 to learn more. Ask your Kia dealer for availability. No system, no matter how advanced, can compensate for all driver error and or driving conditions. Always drive safely.
Oh my God, you're going to love it.
Hey folks, welcome to the AI Chicks, where we're providing you cool conversations about AI for all. With each episode bringing you a different topic on how AI impacts your daily life. I'm your host, Aisha Corpus Wynn, and like always, bringing you the good ideas, a cute smile, and great insight. Speaking of someone who also has great insight, my amazing co-host.
Hi, I'm Lana Hout. I'm bringing the curls, the charisma, and that entrepreneurial energy to the table.
Yes, you are.
Let us jump in today. I'm actually really excited as a broker myself. Today, we're going to be talking about real estate and AI.
Yes, and as we always do, we check out multiple AI platforms to see what AI thinks about this topic. So for today, we did ChatGPT.
You know I love me some ChatGPT.
Yeah,
so I'm excited.
Was Chat chatting on this one?
Chats be chatting. Chat be chatting. So let's hear what Chat has to say.
Okay, perfect.
According to ChatGPT, artificial intelligence, AI, has a prominent role in the real estate industry. It assists in property valuation, predicts market trends, and enhances property tours through virtual reality. AI chatbots provide quick customer support, and it is integral to property management tasks. Real estate platforms leverage AI to connect buyers and sellers efficiently, while also aiding in risk assessment and data analysis. AI contributes to smart home technology, fraud detection, and streamlining property searches, making it a valuable tool for optimizing various aspects of the real estate market.
All right. Well, Lana, this is your space. You heard what ChatGPT has to say, so I'm ready. Feed me what you're thinking.
Okay, so the thing about the real estate industry that I find so fascinating is how quick it has been to always embrace technology and technological advancements, right?
So true.
Everything from finding properties to valuing properties to marketing to buyers and sellers, the realtors, the brokers, they've all been very good about accepting, embracing technology and really trying to streamline their businesses, right? But also, I think the actual industry in and of itself with like Zillow and Redfin to connect buyers and sellers, that's really been great. Not every industry has, I think, come so quick to accepting technology that way.
Yeah.
And especially here in Los Angeles, real estate's very competitive. And I think that that actually really leads you to want to outperform your competitors, right? So there's this healthy competitive spirit that I think aids the taking on of technology, right? So some of the things that I wanted to kind of touch on here is one, the fact that, from marketing to email campaigns to outreach to taking drone shots, they've really stepped up the game. But that also has led me to think about things like virtual reality, right? So right now you can get a virtual tour of these homes. So you can sit at your house, you can be looking at a house 20 miles away, and you can be going online and doing this virtual home tour. Augmented reality is here. It's been here for a while, but now AI is really starting to get even better and better and really creating these realistic experiences.
Yeah.
Just imagine like you can actually walk in the space. Oh, the closet isn't as big as I thought. I mean, I'm such a girl. That's such a girl thing to say, right? Or is the kitchen big enough? Or is the living room? Or, the backyard's not as, whatever.
Yeah.
And I think also another side is smart homes. All these homes are just getting more high tech. You need iPads and you need apps and, you can be leaving the house and be like, oh, did I forget to lock the door? Oh, I don't know. Boom, boom, click, click. Using technology and artificial intelligence to understand what you're trying to achieve. So I think ultimately with real estate, I am so excited about getting to see where they're going to take AI next. Also, real estate is a personal business. So I don't think people are just going to let this computer system sell my home, buy my home.
Do everything.
Yeah.
So you basically think that there's always going to be some human element in the real estate industry, no matter what.
I personally do, because I think it's a very personal experience and it's also a very costly one, right?
Yeah.
It's usually the biggest purchase someone makes. And I think that they're going to want, there's emotions that obviously come with making a huge purchase, and it's also related to your family, and there is always an emotional tie to it. So they want someone that has experience and professionalism
that
to
they
guide
can trust.
them. Yeah. So that's my 2 cents on the topic. How about you, Aisha? What do you think?
Well, as a homeowner, I definitely hear you there, where you definitely form a connection with your realtor Our realtor was one of my best friends. So the part of the industry where I've seen like a gap really is in the commercial real estate side. Because with commercial real estate, you're dealing with volume.
Right.
And even investment properties, you're dealing with volume. Some people are they have multiple
properties
and things like that.
And also in different places.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're dealing with volume. You're dealing with the tenants and the landlords both always needing things to be updated, managed, optimized, and streamlined. And so that is where AI should really be embraced more. And it can benefit both sides.
Yes.
AI is automatically making the appointment with the service person, then sending the tenant.
Oh, you know you
the
love
update.
automation.
Yeah,
She loves an
yes,
automation and a
exactly.
process. And look, I mean, I deal with a lot of business owners. I definitely think streamlining any kind of process where people are getting what they need quicker is really key.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see where that really goes.
I'm really excited to hear what our guest has to say.
Yes.
So today we're going to be having on our show Ivan Estrada. Ivan is a broker and a CPA. He actually is one of the top 1% agents nationwide.
Okay, flex.
So yeah, total flex. And he is also an author. He just wrote a book called Brand with Purpose and has an online video course called Brand with Video. So he is a man of many talents, many interests, and he has been on shows like $1 Million Listing and House Hunters and a lot of publications. So we're so excited to get his take on real estate and AI. Hi, Ivan. Welcome to the show. We're so excited to have you here talking about real estate and AI.
Yeah, I am super stoked. I know Lana's known you forever.
Yes.
I'm just getting to know you better. And after checking out your bio, I was like, oh, okay, Mr. $1 billion, $1 trillion listing.
Yes.
And on that note, definitely introduce yourself to our listeners and tell them more about your area of expertise.
Yeah, absolutely. So Ivan Estrada, born and raised in Los Angeles, went to USC.
Fight on.
Accounting and finance. CPA holder, but realized it was not my thing, but definitely glad I got it. So kids, stay in school. And I've been in real estate now for like 14 years, and it's amazing. It definitely has its ups and downs, right? Like any other business, but I feel like I'm in an intense personal development course that just keeps getting tougher and stronger. Just been an incredible journey, and I love it.
I was playing around on your properties listing site, and like literally the first listing you guys was like $75 million house. I was like, what the?
We need to go get a tour of that house.
Yeah,
I need to feel my best
we
life.
should have recorded this podcast in the closet of that house. I mean,
Yes.
it's probably bigger than our studio.
Yes.
Yeah, like 45,000 square feet. It's
That's
like a house within a
amazing.
house within a house within its own zip code.
That's so
Yes.
funny.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I know like
gosh.
Mr. Beast did like an episode on like $100 million house. You have listings for like 70, 75 million. Is he waking up for our $2 million house?
You know, as a brand, right,
Yeah,
and as a
yeah.
business, we have different sites, right, that
Oh,
are
yeah,
marketed
yeah.
towards different people. And yeah, I do the 2 million and the 1 million. It's the 1 million, it's the 500,000 that got me to where I'm at today. And I always want to remember where I came from. And that honestly will keep me humble, and not to just keep me humble, but it's that market of mine, the ones who are buying the condos and the houses, who are the most appreciative.
Yeah.
And not that my multi-million-dollar clients are not appreciative, but when you hand over the keys to a first-time home buyer and you see their face just light up with appreciation.
They're so excited. It's their first home.
Yeah, that's what keeps me going. That's what keeps my heart going and pumping. And honestly, like to me, like that's what I love doing the best. Even though the multi-million-dollar stuff is fun.
Yeah.
My clients who are the first-time home buyers are the ones that like fill my heart.
Well,
with
I
joy.
love that you said that so that like our listeners know that as we get into this conversation, you'll be able to really cover real estate across the board.
Do you see why we're friends? Do you see why I love
you
him?
only hang out with dope people.
Yeah.
We have this thing where we always give someone a nickname
Yeah.
as they come on our podcast and join the AI squad.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Yes.
because you were talking about
nervous.
so
What
much
is
of
it?
because you were talking about like so much of the boss stuff you do.
Yes.
And maybe we just call you boss.
Ooh, bow.
Yeah, like the BAWSE.
Yes.
Boss. All right.
So,
dope.
boss, why don't you start off by, if you could explain in simple terms how AI is being used in real estate today?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a lot of AI companies out there, and I'm all about technology. I'm all about anything that's new. I want to know about it. I want to hear about it. And so when AI kind of started hitting the forefront of real estate, especially starting with ChatGPT, was like, what is this, right? And of course, there's a lot of pushback. With real estate agents, we get comfortable with something and we just want to keep getting better at it. And then there's always new stuff being thrown at us. So it's like something else to learn, a new contract, a new technology, a new disruptor is trying to take us out of business.
Yeah.
But with AI, honestly, I got excited. If I can use technology to leverage myself, my skills, my time, right? Because our time is our most valuable thing, then I want to use it, right? Because at the end of the day, I think a lot of people think AI is going to replace us. I'm like, no. It's an extension, right? It's an added tool. When you're spending that much money, it's not just the actual physical work that goes into the process, it's the emotional. You need that helping hand from someone to make sure that they guide you all the way through.
Yeah.
Right? And to just push a button and say, you just bought a house, I don't know if within our lifetime, if that's going to get there.
It's usually the largest purchase someone ever makes for most people, that they still want that guidance and that experience.
But with AI, I mean, when it comes to the process itself, it's going to make things more streamlined.
Where are you seeing technology and AI being the most beneficial with finding properties?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think right now there's still a lot of companies trying to figure out how to integrate AI with the search process, right?
Yeah.
There's a couple of agents that I know that are trying to come up with like the next big thing, right? Like how can we use AI to kind of measure what it is exactly that you're looking for and how your trends and trends are changing, your likes and dislikes are changing, and be able to just send you things without you having to go and search, right? Because on Zillow, it'll send you a whole list, but it's a list. If I can send you something that's so specific to your needs, how amazing would that be? And just make them that more exact. When I meet with a client, there's like an actual sheet that they fill out. And it's long. It's very robust. I want to know everything about you, not just what you're looking for, but who are you? So that way I can internalize that. And because right now I'm the AI, right? Like I'm the one processing all that information, and slowly through the process, I'm giving them things and then watching for a reaction. Our value comes in when we start writing the contract, when we start negotiating the contract, when we go through the whole inspection process, which is a really long process, and then I get to negotiate again. Is this in good health? What needs to be repaired? And then there's the appraisal. And then there's the title report. I mean, there's so much stuff that we as agents have to process, that having AI just kind of streamlines some of those things, so I don't have to go through 150 pages of CC&R documents. I can just input, this is what I'm looking for.
This is part of like what we were talking about earlier, right? Allowing the realtor, the broker, the agent to focus on what they're good at, which is the negotiation and getting the deal done and managing the transaction. Not necessarily all the marketing and all the research or other things that need to be done, but they're not necessarily your highest and best use.
Exactly. And that's just on the buyer process, right? Because right now we're, as agents, and where my team is using it heavily is when we're representing sellers. Right?
So using it on the marketing process of the property or preparing the marketing documents or the marketing materials for the seller?
The marketing materials, when it comes to making sure that we have the description on point. I have to say, I use ChatGPT every single day.
Okay, so it's become a staple for you.
Oh yeah, I have the app on my phone, and it's also my entire team uses it. For example, when I'm writing a description for a property, I'm a pretty good writer. He wrote a book, so he's good. But it can always be better. Hey, let me input this description. Give me 4 different versions with, let's jazz it up a little bit. This buyer, right? Because I'll do a buyer profile on a property. Okay, who would be buying this? What type of language would you use for a buyer who's a millennial, with 2 kids and a dog? Can you make this description call out to those people? And boom, it
so
just
really
gives you a version. It's asking the right questions and prompting it. Because I'm telling you, when it gives you that answer back, it's like, whoa.
But your prompt is definitely like the gateway,
of course,
to what that output is. Because
you can't just ask it like, hey, write me a description of this 4-bedroom house. It will do that, but it's not going to be captivating and tailored.
So it's all about the prompting, you guys. If you really master how to prompt these generative AI tools and other AI tools really, really well, you will get some A+ outputs that you're able to use. But not everyone is experiencing that. It just, we're a group of people who are very, very knowledgeable and very skilled at prompting the AI. So I just want to take this moment to encourage the listeners to play and master that prompting, because then you'll see the benefits out of, these generative AI tools.
Which is really saving time. The better you get at prompting, the quicker you get what you want, right? It's really about getting what you want in the least amount of time.
It's still fact check because we always talk about that all the time.
Yes.
No matter what AI tells you to do.
Well, you should read the response. Read what it said and
Yeah.
make sure you actually agree with what it's saying.
Exactly.
But I mean, in a marketing sense, that's a great way to use ChatGPT. It's to create listing descriptions, I would
for
imagine.
Content ideas. And then just to like jump on that bandwagon about like prompting. Honestly, it's helped me in my business and in my personal life. Just ask more precise questions.
Yes, that's so true.
I'm becoming a better like
communicator.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I love
noticed
that.
too.
And I love that because I read a lot and all these like big CEOs, millionaires and billionaires, they're all asking the right questions, right? They're very detailed. They're very meticulous. And it's helped me just become a better professional. I'll ask a question. I'm like, oh no, that's not a ChatGPT type of question.
What other ways are you using the technology?
There's sites out there, they're not sponsors yet, so we can't name them, but where you can literally run photos of an empty room or an empty backyard, and it'll give you all these simulations of what you can do and how much it would cost. Like, how amazing would that be to be able to walk through a property with a client and say, I really like the backyard, but there's nothing here. What are some ideas? Boom, you pop in a photo, it gives you 4 different ideas of what you can do with 4 different price points.
We definitely have to acknowledge that it's not that easy to just imagine.
Have the vision.
Right,
Yeah.
have the vision, right? Like, especially when you go to a home and it's like maybe an older home that you want to do like reno to.
Being the realtor, providing those types of renderings and options to a homeowner, I mean, that's
Killer.
Yeah, exactly. I'm curious, what is your position on AI for real estate being friend or foe?
For right now, with what's out there, definitely a friend, right? I think
a bestie, really.
yeah, we're besties. Like, it's saving me time so that I can go do the stuff that I want to do that AI can't do for me. For what's out there right now, it's definitely a friend. I think we're literally the beginning of what's possible. What will end up happening is, there's going to be regulation that's going to have to get put into place so that people don't get replaced, right? Because I think at the end of the day, emotional intelligence cannot be replaced. A human heart, right? Empathy, I don't think can be replaced by a machine. But at the same time, I do think that in the future, there's going to have to be some checks and balances to make sure that things do get regulated and that people's jobs don't completely disappear, right? Because I think there's just, when you think about medicine, there's so many things that other countries are allowed to do that we're not allowed to do, right? It's for moral reasons, for job reasons, right?
Or religious reasons, whatever.
Religious reasons, right? So I think, in the future, having some controls will be beneficial because, I think we're just at the beginning of this journey.
Are you seeing overall the trend is the people who are trying to grow their business, the high performers, if you will, like yourself, are all incorporating this technology?
100%.
Okay.
I think the people who have a growth mindset are the ones who are definitely incorporating this and wanting to know more, and we're going to the conventions and we're getting involved in the conversations. And then there's others who just, it's not for them.
What's interesting to me is that I found the confidence that I was building in myself in the fact that I was getting better and better at using the technology. So in learning these skills, it's not just a business case. I actually think it does something for your own personal growth and development as a human being. With the video side, what I wanted to ask you is about augmented reality.
Oh, yeah.
And touring a home, instead of just looking at a 2D video, now I'm walking through and I'm like, this closet's not big enough, or this kitchen isn't, or the style, or do you see that being more of a trend that will continue to grow?
100%. Because think about this. When someone walks into an open house, I'm the one who they meet, they get introduced to, and then I'll give them all the details of the house, right? And then they have to go out and do things on their own, and then someone else will walk in. Could you imagine, with augmented reality, I'm able to put like certain placeholders in certain places of the house, right? Where it shows, hey, by the way, this whole area was just redone in 2019. I can still give them the tour, little hints of where things are, or give them stories. I can place a video somewhere in the room. This is what this room used to look like. Look at what it looks like now, right? So I think things like that will make things more interesting and more in depth. And again, it's multiplying myself and being able to put myself in different places and saving myself time, but still providing a lot of value to my clients.
Just kind of switching gears here. Do you see AI coming in and helping the transaction part, the legal part, both the broker standpoint, but also the actual buyers and sellers?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's nothing out there yet that is doing this, just because every state is very different on how they run the process. Each AI bot or whoever would be helping you during the transaction needs to understand how that state works. Here we have the 405 addendum, and then we have the Mulholland Parkway addendum. Obviously, if you're in San Francisco, that doesn't apply, right? Yeah. So I think that AI has to get really good at knowing what works and what doesn't for that transaction. I do feel that it would be nice to add some type of level of transparency to both sides, right? Because I'm still going to be looking at all the paperwork regardless, because that's my job, right? Mm-hmm. And I also expect my client to do the same. Mm-hmm. I think this is kind of like, dotting your I's and crossing your T's, right? Like making sure, did I fully understand what I just read and what I just signed? Mm-hmm. If that could add a level of transparency, that would remove so much litigation from this business, especially in Los Angeles, right? Yeah. Oh, I wasn't told that. I didn't know that existed.
That's the thing. I mean, when you deal with people and contracts, I understand what Ivan's saying. People will be like, well, I didn't know. What you mean? Section 5.d right here clearly says, and you initialed right next to it. So I actually think that would be really cool when you're signing the documents. A disclaimer comes out just so you know this is what this document is for and that you're agreeing to A, B, C, D. I mean, or some sort of Cliff Notes version to make sure that people, because I think contracts are intimidating for most people. It's written in a way that is all legal jargon. Yeah. What am I signing? What does this mean?
Especially in real estate, you have hundreds of documents, right?
Escrow paperwork, all of that.
All the inspections.
If you think about it, people talk about privacy, but real estate's a little bit interesting with privacy, right? Because you could look up a house and see how much it is.
And how much the previous owner paid for it.
I mean, you can see a lot, actually.
Oh, everything.
It's a pretty transparent industry.
But I don't think a lot of people know that, though. There's a lot of first-time home buyers. I mean, I know this, again, because I'm in the tech space, but there's a lot of first-time home buyers that don't know that people can see how much you and the previous owner and the previous owner before that's paid for the house.
Oh, yeah. And there'll be more stuff. There's just going to be a lot more checks and balances, I think, moving forward. And when we talk about AI, it's going to provide more transparency. And I think right now why it doesn't exist, it's a lot of work.
And I think it also requires people from that industry to work on that AI tool.
Yeah, they can't just a bunch of tech people getting together and trying to do it.
Yeah, the tech experts don't always know what every industry needs. So I think part of that is the realtors and the experts in your space, like yourself, would need to start getting into those strategic partnerships with the AI companies, with the tech side, to build these types of AI tools that we're talking about, because the back end of it, like the deep learning, the
machine learning,
the computer visions, like all of the technical stuff that exists, but it's the application of it and the user consumer experience with it is a thing that, like, I think you need someone from that industry to help build out. And speaking on that note, I know who was it? I think it was Frederick. Announced something, and you were like, Aisha, look what they're doing.
For the listeners, $1 million listing, Frederick Eklund announced his new real estate AI platform. And I guess I just wanted to hear a little bit, like, what are your thoughts about, he's in the space, he's jumping on the technology. Yeah. What do you think about that technology platform that he has created and where you see it going?
We're at the same company. And it was a bit off that maybe your company didn't mention anything. I literally heard it from TMZ. I heard it from TMZ.
I heard it from TMZ too.
Yeah.
And then I heard it from Lana, who heard it from TMZ.
There you go.
And I actually don't really know what is he doing with AI and the searches that's, I guess, mind-blowing or going to change the industry.
The AI has been fed thousands and thousands of, pages of real estate so that it can answer very specific questions about real estate,
like a ChatGPT just for real
estate, but then also having it where you've like tested it out and making sure that the answers are true and correct.
Kudos to him to get into it early.
Yes.
I feel like more and more of those type of announcements are going to come out where people are announcing their AI thing, but no one knowing like exactly what it is yet.
Well, I mean, we got that going on left, right, and center.
But for Frederick, good for him, right?
Yes.
I think with things like that, whatever can make our lives and jobs easier, I think I'm all for it. But you also said you have to be careful, right? You have to make sure that those answers to the questions are valid, are correct, that they're depending on county, city, right? Regional, it could be different. And then also, it reminds me, actually, I thought of this, one of my team members, I think I was his AI. And he just kept calling me all day asking a bunch of questions.
Yeah.
I was his AI. I was his ChatGPT. And I said, look, as much as I love answering your questions, I think you really need to do the research on your own, because that's how I learned. That's how I was able to really learn the tools and really understand them, by actually going in the trenches myself without just asking someone for the answer, right? Because sometimes it's all about actually experiencing it in order for you to like become mentally and physically and emotionally tough to get to the next level in your career, right? So I think that it's great that it's providing all these answers, but at the same time, I hope people don't just see it as the easy way out.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a great way to confirm what you thought it was.
Sure.
But it's still good to put in the work.
We did touch on earlier commercial real estate.
Yes.
And I just wanted to get your thoughts as well on where do you think AI could really help in the commercial real estate and property management space?
So on the commercial side, you know, it's a little bit of a bumpy road right now, because obviously a lot of people are working from home, right? Like office space is not doing very well. Retail, not doing very well. People still want to go to restaurants. A lot of distribution centers are still kind of selling. I think people in commercial real estate right now, owners and people who are buyers, want to know, okay, it's a bumpy road right now, but if I buy this investment 5 to 10 years from now, what does that look like with the current data that we have?
Got a predictive analysis.
Right.
Okay.
Like, for example, I'll give you an example. There's a piece of property out in downtown that a client of mine is thinking about buying. It's a bunch of office space, but the city of Los Angeles is still trying to figure out how to change certain zoning laws in order for him to transform that into more of like a bunch of condos instead of like actual office spaces.
Yes, yeah.
Because right now he can get it at a really, really low price. And if this law passes,
rezoned,
then he can do what he wants, and then he's going to make bank. But still, there's all these unknowns, right? So if we could use AI to remove some of those based on the information that we have, based on these meetings with LA City Council, blah, 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 zoning regulation, LADBS.
There's an 80% chance
80% chance that it will pass. You should buy this investment. Great. Then my client gets a deal and can really like turn it over a couple of years down the road.
Even if the probability is strong, AI could also output other alternatives.
Maybe you shouldn't buy this property because XYZ, and now maybe you should consider doing this.
Or buy this property, but turn it into this because we're seeing in the vicinity that this is a new type of business that's needed. I think that there's
great.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of ways now that you're kind of putting this out into the ether right now. Yeah. There's a lot of ways that the predictive analysis that AI can do from the data it has could definitely help with those types of commercial real estate investments and investment property. So yeah, super insightful.
Ivan, thank you so much.
Yeah, we covered a lot with the boss.
The boss has come in. He's given us a lot to think about in the real estate world. I'm just excited about this. Oh, you can imagine the new spaces. I mean, there's such a great way to use technology. So thank you so much, Ivan, for coming on.
Well, thank you all for listening to this and tuning in. Make sure that you check out our other episodes. You follow us.
And you get our merch.
Yes. Oh, yes. Grab the merch.
Ooh, yeah.
All right. Bye, you guys.
Listen to the AI Chicks on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Video episodes are available on Patreon. And check out our socials at The AI Chicks.